Hey, it's me. Really tell me. The guys with the 5 eyes that you see. Today we're going to be talking about 3 employees, one including CEO, a Sweet Baby Inc., the little controversy they've gotten in, and basically what this means for the gaming industry and how I just don't like this company and I want them to falter. Sweet Baby Inc. actually, before the events that I'm about to tell you kind of happened, people have been kind of catching on to who they are and how they were involved in the games, primarily because of how badly the Suicide Squad was written and how badly that game is doing. And the way things got caught to a head was one of their workers named Chris Kindred caught wind of this guy on Steam named Camera Brutus. I forgot. I don't know how to pronounce it. It's such a red pill looking name. Camera Brutus Roman or something like that. They were on Steam and they had this curating page that basically showed all the games that Sweet Baby Inc. is either working on or some involved in some way on. Most of the games are mid, but some of them include Spider-Man 2 and God of War Ragnarok and the like. And actually, that probably shows why Mary Jane looks like a couch potato in the face in Spider-Man 2. And basically, the page shows who and what they've been working for and lets people know, hey, these guys are active on this, so if you want to avoid the game, have at. Chris took offense to this and probably thought, because this was probably going to make people miss out on buying the game, which will miss out on profits for the companies and everything. So to a degree, I can understand the mentality, but Chris ignorant ass really thought, oh my gosh, this is one of those cases where you played yourself to the max. He went out and told people on Twitter to report the page.
A whopping 1 in 12 black men in poor neighborhoods is an active informant.
You damn right, Mr. Policeman. I saw the whole thing.
And he said it so confidently, like after saying blah 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 this and blah 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 that, he was like, yeah, so go report them. Anyways, F them, report them. And Chris, because like a lot of these hyper left liberal people, they don't really understand that in the gaming community there are more people on Steam that mess with that Steam curator than there are people on Twitter that will report that same person. And basically there are more of these people on Steam on Twitter than the people on Twitter on Steam.
Hey, I ain't seen nothing.
Hell no!
Man, fuck your mom.
So you can guess what happened. He got reverse Uno card and everyone ended up reporting his page and basically got shut down. Now here are a couple of tweets from his backup page that isn't shut down. He says, trolling their forums and chats and realizing they don't care about Sweet Baby at all. He's right, we don't. Sweet Baby is just the most visible and the most vulnerable. They think we're some super firm funded by BlackRock receiving ESG funding and tasked by some entity to hold studios hostage. And take note of hold studios hostage because that will come up later with his CEO. But honestly, you guys couldn't be anything but something funded by BlackRock with this ESG funding, because your company doesn't really do anything that I feel like most companies need. Because all this agenda, this stuff is kind of easy to figure out. South Park shows you: make it gay, make it black, make it a little Asian, spice it up with some Latina, make it gay. That's all it really is. It says it here. They don't know how many of us there are, so they make it up. Yes, we do. We know your studio is around 35 people. They don't know what we do, so they make it up. If people didn't really know what you guys did, would you guys be going around calling yourself a consulting firm? They don't know the impact our work has on the studios that hire us, so they make it up. And actually, we do know it because Suicide Squad flopped. And then another one that I thought was important was this one. As a unit, we have no power towards any of the clients we work with. They're mad at marketing conditions. They're mad at studio decisions. They're mad at the world changing away from their fastest beliefs. They just need a punching bag because they know AAA studios will sue them in the earth. And it's like, no, you guys do have power because you're the ones essentially running how some of these games are written, or also like elements within the game that they probably otherwise would have not had, but you just come in and edit that. And he also has a quote here that but he was also quoted as saying that basically they just kind of show up at the end and they don't have much input into the game. Oh, right here. The nature of our work is often at the end, and it's just often looking at things.
I need you to get the hell up out of here.
Any particular reason?
You're kind of a lazy hoe.
Yeah, I can see that.
Which kind of shows, again, proves my point how kind of pointless you guys are. Because if that's really just what you do, I don't understand how you guys are really needed for that, right? And, you know, this is just him kind of going on a rant because he's butthurt that, you know, he got trap carded by Yu-Gi-Oh! In this instance, and his account got sent to the Shadow Realm. It's hard to swallow, but if you look at this guy, Kindred, he's a coon. I'm just going to say it flat out right there. I know a coon when I see a coon. In the black community, for all my people who, you know, are watching that may not be Afro-American of sorts, whatever, coon is a term we use for black people that basically you can consider them race traders, but most of the time it's people who are trying to fit in with other races, and it doesn't always mean they demean their own black people, put them down. It's just the fact that you're black, but you're trying to not act like you're black, and you're trying to be in these non-black spaces. That is what we consider a coon, and we don't use that term lightly. We generally use it if we generally feel this person is trying to to diversify and de-blackify themselves, and we generally only use it for these time people. Coon is not even a word you're gonna hear come out of a black person's mouth that often, and usually these days younger people don't even use that word. It's mostly us millennials and up, mostly Gen X and boomers using that word. And I can't explain it too much. It's just that you can kind of get the feel with his look, with his like dreads and his shaved face and his where he works. You know, he does not work in the kind of environment where he's going to be with a lot of legitimate black people. He's going to be with a lot of mixed black people, and if they're thoroughly black, the kind of black people that don't really they either are stereotypically black when they're around black people, or they mostly hang around white people and everything. But he's just the first piece of the pie. So basically, he's the one that kind of got Sweet Baby Ink's profile exploded because the page he reported, he basically gave them all the clout tokens. That page went from like 20-some K followers to having over 200K. And I know he's super salty about that because he himself has almost 15,000 followers on Twitter. And he just basically gave this account his dream account too.
It should have been me, not him!
So his Twitter is locked as well. I think he may have gotten it back, and he may have just recently locked it. But this guy, he's totally a joke. But now I also want to talk about the CEO of the company, whose name is Kim Belair, which I find kind of funny because her last name's Belair, and she kind of reminds me of that one light-skinned chick from the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. She more than likely was one of these, I wouldn't say trust fund baby, but probably went to some kind of private school. Probably didn't hang around black guys that much. But in this article, Sweet Baby Inc. CEO and co-founder Kim Belair compares white male gamers to picky babies. And I want to point that out because her father and stepfather, so her mama's got a thing for that Caucasian sausage.
No regular baby. It's a white baby. It's the most beautiful white baby in the whole wide world.
You know, they're both white guys. So she is a biracial woman, and she basically has this thing with white males that a lot of quote unquote black women, and I say quote unquote with double quotes because I don't really consider her that much of a black woman.
And if you also note on her Twitter profile that she does not have, it doesn't appear like she really has many black friends. She literally, most of the pictures on her Twitter are her with this other white lady. The occasional white guy shows up and some Asian chick that shows up. So nobody's black in her profile. So, you know, not that I'm not surprised by it. She probably hardly has any black friends. She just dips her, you know, double dips her way back to the chocolate side when, you know, she's talking to her mom and probably talking to her mom's side of the family, but it's probably all just a front. We keeping it real.
In the entertainment space have with white men. If you notice, it's mostly women in the entertainment space. A lot of women in other corporate spaces and a lot of, you know, blue collar spaces, pretty much mostly other spaces beyond entertainment, they don't actually have a problem with the white males that they work with. Maybe because most of them know the white males are the ones giving them the most money. But he also, in this article, they have a clip. Actually, I think he might have the whole thing. Let me see. Yeah, so he has her whole thing from the developers conference, the game developers conference, GDC, but I'm going to put in the video the clip of what she specifically was talking about when it comes to basically getting their agenda pushed. And here's the clip.
If you're a creative working in AAA, which I did for many, many years, put this stuff up to your higher ups. And if they don't see the value in what you're asking for when you ask for consultants, when you ask for research, go have a coffee with your marketing team and just terrify them with the possibility of what's going to happen if they don't give you what you want.
Is that what you think? You think I'm crazy? Is that why you wanted me to leave? Do not lie to me!
Now, I want you to go back to when I said that, when Chris said that they think we hold these studios hostage. Here, she herself admits that's actually what she wants people to do, and it's probably what they have done. That's probably what she did that even gave her the idea to start this company in the first place. For people to go to these AAA guys and to essentially threaten them with the idea of what could happen if her company isn't pushed. Because listen, I can see right through her bullshit. This is her advertising for her company. She not only said that for the people to say that, she said that for the people there to hear her. The AAA execs there to hear her. And I have this other article here. And I have this other article here from her, which gives you a little bit more insight about what the industry is trying to do. Because basically, when I talk about the next employee, the next employee is who I say the target audience that they're aiming for. But since they can't grow this target audience naturally, they have to do it by these forced means. But check here, right here. She says that the way we look at demographics is that we go, okay, the majority of our player base is, let's say, a white male, so we're going to make stuff for white males. But if you make something from the perspective of an Asian trans woman and it's really strong, then it will work for people. Which is not true. It's not true. And because trans people, we just don't care about trans people. Society does not care about trans people because everyone knows that trans people are posers. They're the biggest posers in the world, okay? At least with gay people, they're not trying to be another sex they aren't. If anything, they're just overly embracing their actual sex to the point they want the same sex. But at least they know that they're a man or a woman. These transgender people are crazy, and that's just how I feel, because I'm a person of the belief that there's man and there's woman. And I also believe that, let's say you're a woman, but you're barren, right? Your womb is barren. You're still a woman. You still got the reproductive system of a woman. You still have the mind and body of a woman. Same where if a guy is born with no balls, he's still a dude. He has the body of a male. He has the mind of a male. And she said it here too about this. People crave new stories. Yes, we do. If you want to innovate, even to stay current, it's not about graphics, it's not about hardware. Well, to stay current, yeah, it is, because hardware and graphics is essentially the wall of currency, and she's not understanding that you have to join the software, the hardware, and the creative aspect of the game. That's like the holy trinity of gaming. When you put those three together, that's how you end up getting with most of the Super Mario games. That's how you end up getting most of the Legend of Zelda games. Things like Grand Theft Auto, Jak and Daxter, all of these legendary titles, they combine the best of their software, the best things about their hardware, with creative stories, creative worlds, and also creative characters as well. And the key thing in this article I wanted to show is, I guess this is the dude who's interviewing, I don't know who Alex is, but also, of course, gamers are mostly white guys. You're making games for white guys. Try making games for someone else and maybe they'll show up. And it just kind of goes to show you that these people, their whole lives revolve around trying to control other people. Because like I said, this woman is a biracial woman. She has this emphasis on white guys, but the start of her existence began in the ball sack of a white man.
It's a white baby. It's the most beautiful white baby in the whole wide world.
And her mother loves white men so much that she got another white man, and somehow they both pose in the picture. So they're literally like Matt Damon and Will Ferrell. That's the kind of white people she comes from. So she's just a total goofball. But she's not the main purveyor or character I wanted to discuss. The main person that I wanted to get to is who I feel is the people, the kind of person that the industry itself wants to be their main consumer, because these are the kind of people that I would say are the most easily controlled. And that would be Mr., as they would like to be known, but I would say Miss Lego Butts. And follow me here. So this person looks like a man, but is not a man. This person is a woman pretending to be a man, and it's so cringe because when you go on her Twitter profile, you see she's posted a lot of pictures of beard progress and everything like that. And you gotta understand, like, that's just one of the reasons why you're not really a man. And you see here, this crazy ass chick is still painting their nails and putting on lip gloss and stuff like that. So it's like, you wanted to be a man, but you're still doing feminine things. And you see how these people are like, they just want to become one kind of entity because they're too lazy at their lives to want to deal with, you know, the issues of being their sex. But, you know, being a man, men, we don't do our nails like that. We get them clean, but we don't press them up. We don't be wearing lip gloss and shit like that. That's something women do because it makes you guys look pretty and attracts us. And if it's not for our attraction, it makes you feel pretty to yourself, and it's something you can show off to your other feminine female friends, because you guys are beings of beauty, so you love beautifying yourselves. Not, hey, I'm speaking for the single ladies out there, not just for us guys, but for you too. But if you're trying to be a guy and you're doing this, you're defeating the purpose of why you became a guy in the first place. And because you're a grown person and you're like, oh, look at how much beard I've grown. Look at my beard. That stuff motherfuckers do, real men do when we're children, because most of our beards grow in when we're teenagers. So we start doing that when we're teenagers. But since you're faking this, you're basically trying to live the life of a teenage boy. You're not even trying to live the life of a man, because that's how unnatural the lifestyle you're trying to live is, right? You see, this person got the top surgery, which to me is, I find that insulting as a man, because it's almost like you guys just really don't understand what it means to be a man. Cutting off your breasts is not going to help you become more of a man or look more of a man, right? Because niggas like Rick Ross exist. It's a lot of dudes with titties floating around here, myself included, because I need to lose some weight. But a lot of dudes got titties anyway, right? So you cut off your titties when most dudes got titties. So that's your first strike. Another thing is, too, if you really want it, why cut off your breasts when you could just go work out? If you want your chest to be like more flat and masculine, then go work out. Chest day it. Look at a lot of women who are professional bodybuilders. Of course, you wouldn't want to do that much, but still, you know, if you wanted to like swell, like, you know, if you wanted to get a more masculine chest, you'd have to work out at that. But again, that's something that mostly a lot of men, like for men, if we want to change the way our body looks, we go work out. If you want to look more like a man, then the best thing you could do is just basically bodybuild. Duh, you didn't have to go get this expensive ass surgery, and now you have this scar for the rest of your life that, quite frankly, I don't even think other trans people find attractive. No one finds a scar like that attractive. You literally look like you got pieced together in some Tim Burton Nightmare Before Christmas lab with Boogie Oogie or something like that, man. Like, you just look ridiculous, and it just shows how much of a poser you really are. And people are taking offense to this in the comments. Please take offense to this, because I'm not the kind of person that believes a man can become a woman and a woman can become a man. If that was something we were truly able to do naturally, we would be able to do it. But we're not frogs, so we're not fish. You know, we're not like that fish off of that one Blue Ocean or whatever that was documentary that David Attenborough was documenting. Like, that's a real tranny. That fish, that ugly ass monster of a looking fish, that's a real tranny, because they can do that and it just works for them naturally. We can't do that. That's not natural for us. Also, editing this in case I didn't talk about it beforehand, but you see, Maya also posts a lot about her cats, just like Kim, and that's crazy because these women are basically both crazy cat ladies. I would say one thing: do not trust people who are too obsessed with their animals. I know we love our animals like they're family, because they are family, you know, they're our pets and everything, but uploading constant pictures constantly of your cat and everything like that, it's just a bad look to me. It just kind of shows that you low-key are really trying to escape certain parts of reality, and your animals give you a connection that you just cannot make with people on the outside world, and Yeah, they're going to be old crazy cat ladies. I expect them to have about 15 by the time they turn 55, which will come sooner than later, but you know. But another thing I wanted to point out is you have here these tweets from them in the past. One says, "Pay me to shoot down your white male lead game icons." Another says, "I just had a thought about trying this again with a photo of a young white person about to get ripped open, but I'm betting folks would immediately flag as traumatic, whatever. Had an enemy that was a white male gamer. I usually get grossed out when straight white rich people kiss, but I think those two are pretty cute." Now listen, I know this person is more than likely Hispanic of some sort and everything like that, but woman, a so-called white person, you are more closely related to a white person than other races of people, right? Look at your skin. You know, again, you're crazy enough to want to become a man when you're not a woman, but just like the biracial chick who wants to act like she's doing all these things for black people and being all diverse, even though inclusivity is bad for black people, because instead of keeping us, you know, black and strong in who we are, you're now trying to mix us in with everybody else, trying to make one group of people where nobody is diverse, because diversity means separation. Guess what? To divide, diversify means to separate. It's division. When you div, you separate. You don't combine. That's why these people are so all over the place. And you fit a white person. If someone looked at you, they would assume you're white. So these people are just, all these people do with their lives is try to become something they're not, which is why they're godless and they're soulless. They're basically like Satan. I'm just going to keep it real. These people are like Satan. What's the story of Satan? He wanted to be like the Most High. He got sent down. These people want to be like the image of what a god is to themselves, and they can never achieve it. And that's why they have to infiltrate spaces where they can take over, because it makes them feel like a god. The gaming space is one of the biggest spaces they love to take over, because gaming is the biggest venue of entertainment in the world, and it's ran by primarily white males, straight white males. But I'm here to tell you that it's not just about the straight white males, it's about the straight males in general. That's why I say that Felix at home, who I go butts, Maya Kramer, is the ideal demographic that these people want. When I say that, I don't just mean her being a trans man, you know, transvestites is who they want, because they know they can't turn us all into transvestites. But I'd like to say the kind of people the industry wants us all to be for the most control are people who are slothish and lazy and big, you know, obese and everything, and can't hardly do anything, because then we won't have the energy to revolt. People who are very uneducated, not just from school, but in life in general, and who just aren't very smart. They use things like, again, bad entertainment, especially with music. Music is one of the best ways to keep kids stupid, because it makes them think about nothing but dancing and vibration, everything like that. Because when people are not mentally acute and they're not growing in knowledge, then they're definitely not going to revolt, because they don't know what's going on. They need daddy government to hold their hand the whole way through. And then you have the people like the trans people, the great, you know, LGBTQI, a lot of these people that want to use all these pronouns and synonyms and say they're this and they're that. They like them too, because these people, they care so much about their image that if you just show them on screen somewhere, they're happy enough. And if you just keep doing it, they feel like they're actually getting somewhere in life. So they're actually some of the easiest to placate, right? Because literally you just show them a mirror and they just get so obsessed and in love with themselves that they don't care about how many people don't even know they exist. They actually get mad about that. They will actually fight for you. See, the lazy people are just going to be lazy. The idiot people are just going to be walking into a wall. These people will fight for you against the other people, because it's like I said before, they want to be something they're not. And because they can never be that, they want people to accept them for who they are, because that's the closest they can be. This woman here, Maya, can never truly be a man. But if she tells you that she's a man and you believe that she's a man, in her eyes, hey, well, I'm a man. That's the best they can do. So she falls into that category of the demographics of people they want, because then these people will consume whatever they make, and that will allow them to make anything with no kind of bar for quality, what have you. That will allow them to just probably just throw a freaking Pong game out there that glitches. The Pong thing doesn't even go up and down. It just goes, because then that's the easiest amount of money they can make, and they can just kick up their feet and relax without having to worry about it. So that was like my long-winded reveal. But let's see how much time we got here. So, like in conclusion, I went over these 3 individuals with you guys to end everything off like this. Sweet Baby Inc. is everything that is wrong with the video game industry. Sweet Baby Inc. also, if I'm just gonna keep it real, a lot of conspiracy theorists would look at the swirl in the middle of the baby because, from what I gather from some of my research, is that swirl is like a code for, how would I say, child erotic interested individuals. I'm not saying anything, just look it up for yourself. Just go research it, alright? Just hear what I said, replay it, go research it. But that's besides the point. These people are trying to control what we as straight male and female gamers like, because straight men, for the most part, uphold the society. If you denigrate and disintegrate the straight males in your society, then it's yours for the taking. And we can see that through history. These people come attack this one city or town, you kill all the men. Once all the men are dead, the women or children are for the taking. Everything is for the taking. So when it comes to the game space, they're trying to figure out how they can assimilate by force our ways of thinking in order to sell these games to us. And it's not about money for the most part, because it's about power. Why? Because a lot of these games don't do well. A lot of these games don't sell a lot, and we've been doing this for years. We've been making fun of these games and everything for damn near a decade now, and they still keep releasing this stuff. That's how you know it's not about money. It's about control, because they've been working at us over a decade now. But you guys gotta stay powerful. Stay to yourselves. That's why we have to. When it comes to the majority of these AAA companies, stop buying their games. Stop buying their games. Wait for someone to buy it. Let them hack and put it on an emulator, then go play. Buy small studio. It's like with music and everything. We basically have to just scale down our expectations, scale down what we're waiting for. Because in my opinion, the only thing small studios at this point are lacking that the big AAA developers have is the fact that big AAA developers can have pretty big casts of voice actors for their stories to help flesh out the whole story. And they also have a good amount of money to have a lot of developers work to there's just a certain, when you play like these big AAA games, there's even the bad ones with their worlds and styles and details and their interactivity. There's just a certain layer in there that they have that a lot of people without money usually don't have the time or the know-how to input, because they also don't have a team that's big. That's changing, because as the landscape of technology continues to grow, what we're seeing is that smaller and smaller teams can make bigger and bigger worlds and more interactive worlds, and they have more options. That's why Power World is so significant. That was made by, not that many people, but they have a big world with a system that allows for interactivity. That's only going to continue to increase. So what I'm hoping happens in the future is we get to a point where a lot of AA and single A games can almost be indistinguishable from AAA games, because at this point they need to die. Mostly EA needs to die. Rocksteady, at this point, you need to die. These game companies have to go under. Stop buying from them. Stop purchasing these battle passes. Stop purchasing their gear and their merchandise and everything. Go small. That's why I want to start my new segment on this channel called Looking Forward To, because I want to highlight all the games that are to come out from majority small studios, big studios too, but I just want to do everything I can to get these smaller studios out there, because at this point, that's where the real true gaming lies now. We gotta stop depending on corporations for our happiness in life. This extends beyond gaming too. We have to start supporting the people making stuff for us directly, whether it's our clothes, our food, books, everything in life, because these corporations are trying to control us. Your fellow man isn't trying to control you, he's trying to work with you. He's not trying to compete with you, he's trying to cooperate with you.
industry.
And Sweet Baby Inc. is a corporation of control ran by a batshit crazy mulatto woman who wants to desperately be as white as her father, but because she can never truly be that unless she gets with a white man to make a white baby, she would do everything she can to get as much money as possible for her, and that means denigrating white men, because to the greater world it shows that she's a strong black woman who's in charge, when in the back of her mind she don't believe none of that shit, because as soon as Brad comes over with his dong stick doohickle, she's gonna ride that thing till the night comes, and she's gonna produce him a Kimberly and a Hunter. Alright? Hope you guys have a good night. I can barely breathe.